Categories of blues licks. 1 of 8. Interesting rhythm and phrasing. Good way to create interesting melodic rhythm is by strumming a rhythm and then narrow it down to one string, like this. Then move it through a scale or arpeggio. Then phrasing, interesting rhythm and phrasing. First item on phrasing is start before, on, or after the first beat of the chord. So here's before. And here is on. Oops. And here is after. Second item, arpeggio tones with bends, including suspended fourth and sixth. Those latter two things are just other chord types you should also consider in addition to just major and minor. But arpeggio tones with bends on this blues in C, this can represent a C chord, C minor. Here's C minor in its 3 inversions, and C major in its 3 inversions, root in the bass, 3rd in the bass, 5th in the bass. So this is 3-5-1, or the minor version 3. Sorry, this is 1-3-5, or the minor version 1-flat-3-5. Up here it's 3-5-1 of the key of C, or flat 3-5-1 for the minor, and then 5-1-3 for the major, or 5-1-flat-3 for the major. So I'm just going to work with licks based on the key of C and play C majors on the C chord and C minors on the F chord, and in the G chord I'll just play something else. So first, here's the chord names. C, still C, F, C, G, F, C. So major on the C. C minor on the F. C minor. Again. C minor on the F. G, F, C minor. Up here is C major. C minor. C major. G, F, C minor, C major, C major, C major, I'm often ornamenting the C major by using a 4 resolving to a 3. This is the 3, resolving a 4 to a 3 like this. 4, 3. C major. C minor for the F. C major. G. C minor for F. So that outlines the areas. Now going through the same thing and looking at the bends to each one. So in C down here, want to bend to tones of C major, using C minor pentatonic. This is flat 3, bending to the natural 3. And to the 1, I can bend from flat 7 in the minor pentatonic. And here's an example of that. Assigning the chords the same way, C major for C and C minor for F. Oh, so I should go over the C minor. The difference for C minor is you have the flat 3 here, so I'll bend from a 2 to a flat 3. And still bend up to 1 here. So 1, go in reverse order. 1, 3, 5. Or if I wanted to stay strictly in the pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic scale, I could bend to 1. And then for the flat 3, I'll bend from this. In fact, I think I'll stick to that, so it's strictly minor pentatonic, just C minor pentatonic. So here's the 1, here's the flat 3, and here's the 5. That's for minor. For the major, it was 1, and the 3, I bent from flat 3 to 3, and 5. So C major on the C, and F major, C minor on the F. And then just random improv or whatever on the G. C minor. Then in this form, same idea. C major from C minor pentatonic. First I'm just showing making the major or minor sounds with the minor pentatonic. So on the first string, bend into 1. When you have a note on a that's fretted with a low numbered finger, to bend to it, you would typically fret on the next larger string with a high numbered finger. So this note is here. This is 1. This is 5, bending on the next larger string. And this is 3, and I'll bend from flat 3. Then for minor, the 1 is the same, the 5 is the same, but for the 3, this time flat 3, for the flat 3 rather, you would have to bend all the way from down here, so it's out of position, and I don't want to use the fourth string yet. I just want to use the easier bends on the first three. So to get to flat 3, bend from 2, which is not in the pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, but is the most commonly added tone to minor pentatonic 2. So review for minor, that was 1, 5, and flat 3. This note is flat 3, bend from 2. And for major, the same, 1, 5, or 3, bend from flat 3 here. Notice I'm using these 2 fingers so I can quickly get from the flat 3 to the 5 if I want to combine it with that. Okay, so here's through the progression using those. Major. Minor. I just realized something I overlooked was up here you can get the 3 in the high octave. We're mainly focusing on this inversion, but when we fret the next one, we'll be using this note in the first string, the flat 3 or the 3, but that's reachable from down here too. So here's 3, 3, 1, flat 3, bend to 3, 3, 1, 5, 3 again, or 3 again. And flat 3, bend 2 to flat 3. So major goes, and minor goes. Or that could be using the first finger. Major. Minor. So I'll be using all of that. Then the next inversion, 5, 1, 3, right? 5, 1, 3, or 5, 1, flat 3. Bending to each one of those. The scale is here for the minor pentatonic. And we can get to the 3, bending the flat 3 to it. This is for the major. Flat 3 to 3. For the 1, drop back, use the second finger. Unless it's easier enough for you with the first finger. And the first finger for the 4, bend to 5 on the third string. So, oh, by the way, there's a 5 up here too. So we could bend to 5, 1, flat 3, and then 5's up here. So bend to 5. To natural 3, to 1, to 5. And then for minor, it's the same thing except flat to 3. So we have 5, flat 3's here. So I'm going to bend to it from 2 or from flat 3. From 1 to flat 3. Let's prefer that one so we can keep it simple and stay in the minor pentatonic. So 1 to flat 3. Wide intervals like the 3-fret interval 1 to flat 3 or from 5 to flat 7 have a real primal sound, like an animal scream. So that was to get our flat 3 for minor, 1 to flat 3. And then to get our 5, it's here from 4. So minor goes 5, flat 3, 1, and then 5. So remember, we're playing major on the C and minor on the F. C major on the C. And minor on the F, because part of F ninth is C minor. So C minor on the F. Bending to the flat 3 from here, from the 1. Major. Minor. 5, F chord, G chord. Minor. Major. Major. Minor. G chord. Minor. Now for 4, making a suspended 4th chord. Arpeggio tones with bends, still the second category of blues licks, but C suspended 4th. That uses the 4, making a C suspended 4th with 1, 4, 5. And that C suspended 4th on C major would be expected to resolve to C major 1, 3, 5. And on F would be expected to resolve to the C minor chord. 1, 4, 5 resolves to 1, flat 3, 5. So for the C chord, I'll use 4 and resolving to 3 with fretted notes, or using the minor pentatonic bend to 4 and then resolve by bending flat 3 to 4, and then resolve by bending to natural 3. That was 4, then 3. 4, then 3, bending both from flat 3. And on the 4 chord, I'll use this idea. 5, 1, flat 3, bend to 4. And that would resolve to flat 3. Then the same idea in E form, where on the first 3 strings it's 3, 5, 1, or flat 3, 5, 1 for minor, 3, 5, 1 major, flat 3, 5, 1 for minor. So the 4 is also up here, and this one's usually more commonly used. Here's flat 3, bend to 4. And in the low octave, or middle octave you could call it, because it's a low octave here, here's flat 3, bend to 4. You might want to grab that with these 2 fingers if the tension on your 3rd string is too great. So here's flat 3, bend to 4, followed by 3, or flat 3, bend to 4, followed by flat 3 for the C minor. 3 for the major, of course, and flat 3 for the minor. Then in the last inversion, second inversion, it's got the fifth in the bass, the root, then the flat 3 or 5, 1, 3 on the top for minor and major respectively. So here, like I did back here, I'll bend flat 3 to 4, but now I'll use my second finger here. That's to flat 3, 4, then resolving to flat 3, or 4 resolving to 3. Here it goes. Blues melodic category 2 arpeggio tones. This adds the sixth, making a C sixth, 1, 3, 5, 6, or C minor 6, 1, flat 3, 5, 6. And the sixth melodically I call a low 6, particularly in big band or swing jazz. You hear Benny Goodman, for instance, Charlie Christian. You hear the 6 below 1, so I call it low 6. That's 1, 6, 5. And to make this a 6 below 1 in the high octave, you need the 1 above it. Makes it a bit awkward in this fingering, but if you slide up to it, you should emphasize 1 strongly when you use the 6 below it. Here's this A form octave of C. That's C in the A form. Then this inversion, 5, 1, 3, or 5, 1, flat 3, major or minor, respectively. The 6 is down here. And the next lower 6 is way down here, so we probably won't use that. And there's a 6 above it. If you bend, so I'll use all of those.